What up, guys? GangstaPranksta bringing the weekly wrestling review for May 25th and June 1st. Welcome to the show. If you're new to the show, this is where we talk everything about professional wrestling, from news, reviews to predictions. We talk about it all, so if you're a fan of professional wrestling, welcome to the show. On today's show, we got reviews for Extreme Rules, RAW, 2 weeks worth of RAW, Smackdown, Impact, NXT, Ring of Honor. We're going to talk a little bit about Slammiversary and some wrestling news. Now, I want to apologize for not putting the weekly wrestling review up for a while. It's almost been a month. I just haven't been enjoying watching wrestling as of late, so I just took a break with it, and you know, I had a lot to catch up on. I still do have a lot to catch up on, but yeah, so I just let you guys know I was taking a break from the whole wrestling thing, and but we're back, so let's talk about it. This, you might not even give a shit because it's happened like so long ago. So we're going to talk about Extreme Rules. We're going to talk about the debut of Curtis Axel, all the good stuff. I just hit my mic. I was so fucking excited. I'm like, woo! Move my hands and shit when I'm talking. Even though you guys can't see me, I'm still moving my hands as I'm talking. I'm still doing it right now, blah, blah, blah. Anyways, so let's talk about Extreme Rules, which happened like long ass time ago. So it starts off, let's just talk about the show. So it was an okay show. Like, it was pretty good. There's nothing like must see. It was just a regular good show. It starts out with Fandango versus Chris Jericho. Pretty good match. Jericho wins. Next we got Dean Ambrose taking on Kofi Kingston, U.S. title match. It was a good little match. It was like really short. There was a couple matches here that were pretty short, and I felt that if they were longer, they could have been like really good, but they just went pretty short, but whatever. And they were good for what they were. So anyways, Dean Ambrose wins and is the new U.S. champion. Cool to see that. Next we got Sheamus taking on Mark Henry's strap match. It was pretty good. It was kind of slow and boring, and it was just whatever, to be honest. So anyways, pretty good match. Sheamus wins. This was a short match, but I was fine with that. Next we got Jack Swagger versus Alberto Del Rio in an I Quit match. Good match. Del Rio wins. Just a solid back and forth match. They did some cool stuff in the match. I didn't really care too much about the ending. Like, you had Zeb Coulter throw in the towel, but made it seem like it was Ricardo that threw it in, so they disqualified. They made it seem like Alberto quit, and then they did like a whole replay thing, and it's like, you don't usually do that shit, so why are you gonna do it now? Unless you gotta do it all the time now. If you're gonna do it this one time, you gotta consistently do it. So I wasn't really a big fan of that, but it was whatever. Next we got Team Hell No versus The Shield. This was a Tornado Tag Team title match. This was another short match that I wish went on a little bit longer. This was like a Raw match. It was a pretty good match. It was fun to watch. I just wish it went longer. Shield wins, and they're the new tag team champions. That was cool to see. Next we got Randy Orton versus Big Show, Extreme Rules match. This was a good match. No complaints here. Just they had a good back and forth match. They did some cool stuff. Orton ended up taking the victory, and that was that. Next we got John Cena versus Ryback for the WWE title in a last man standing match. It was a good match. It was a very slow-paced match, but they did do some cool stuff. There was a lot of, you know, counting to almost 10 and then getting up, and a lot of that. And the end spot where they speared, Ryback speared Cena through the stage, and it would have been cool if they both got counted out, but they ended up throwing the match out. Just like, okay, match is over. I would have preferred the double count out. Like, okay, both men, they can't get up, they just went through this hellacious thing, they're both done for, count them out, and then medical attention or whatever. But they just threw the match out and no one won, which, yeah, I would have liked the double KO, whatever, would have been better than just throwing the match out. But it was a solid match. And last but not least, we have Brock Lesnar versus Triple H in a steel cage match. Really good match. They had a nice, good back and forth match. The ending, I wasn't a big fan of, with Heyman getting in the ring and low blowing Triple H. In a steel cage match, you know, that's supposed to stop all that bullshit from happening. and it still did. So I wasn't a big fan of that, but other than that, it was a really good match. Triple H worked over Lesnar's leg. You had a nice spot where Lesnar hit him in the face with a sledgehammer, and then they built upon that for the next Raw. And we'll talk about that in just a second. So that was it for Extreme Rules. Like I said, it's a pretty good show. I would recommend checking it out. You know, it was pretty good. Couple hours of wrestling, so check it out if you're interested. Next we got Raw. I'm not really going to go into. I'm just going to pick out certain things I want to talk about, like the debut of Curtis Axel. So Paul Heyman teased that he's going to have a new client. There's going to be a new Paul Heyman guy, and came out. Honestly, I like the music a lot. It's like a remix version of his dad's old music, so that was pretty cool. And they named him Curtis Axel for his father and his grandfather, which was actually a pretty cool name. I'm not a big fan of the name, but it represents, like, his whole heritage and stuff. I would like for him to just go by Joe Henning, but Curtis Axel's an alright name. He's just never had much luck with names, you know, Michael McGillicuddy, Curtis Axel. Curtis Axel's like way better than Michael McGillicuddy. Michael McGillicuddy is a terrible fucking, whoever he came up with that is a fucking tool. But Curtis Axel is it's a cool name. It's a cool name. So, anyways, Triple H Heyman comes out, introduces him, says this is gonna be my new client. You know, he's the future of professional wrestling. Blah 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 blah. Triple H comes out, and he still has an issue with Heyman. Michael McGillicuddy called him Michael McGillicuddy, Curtis Axel. I find myself calling him Michael McGillicuddy still. He's not Curtis Axel for me yet. So if I call him Michael McGillicuddy, I apologize. You know what I mean. So, Curtis Axel gets in Triple H's face. Triple H slaps him and challenges him to a match later, so that sets up the main event, which was Curtis Axel versus Triple H. They had a pretty good match. Axel wins after Triple H can't compete anymore. So the storyline here was the doctors told him not to wrestle, and he's like, okay, then I'm going to fire you if I can't wrestle. So they're like, alright, you can wrestle. And he just couldn't compete anymore. He was, from getting the sledgehammer to the face and stuff like that, so Curtis Axel won by countout, or I don't know, but they gave him the win. So, is there anything else I want to talk about on Raw? No, that's about it. So next, let's talk about NXT, which was the debut of Sami Zayn, aka El Generico. He had one of the better debuts I've seen in some time. Like, a debut like this means, like, damn, he's a star. Like, they made him a star in the first 30 minutes of NXT. So he comes out for a match with Kurt Hawkins. Pretty good match. He wins. Blah blah blah. Next we got Antonio Cesaro versus Yoshitatsu. This is a blah match. Cesaro wins. After the match, Cesaro says he has no competition. So Sami Zayn comes out and issues a challenge. So it's going to be Cesaro versus Zayn. So he just wrestled the match, and now he's going to wrestle former United States champion Antonio Cesaro. They had a pretty good match. Zayn wins again, so he wins 2 matches in his debut on NXT. So after seeing him debut like that and like having not like 2 victories over WWE superstars, like it definitely tells me that they have some big plans for him after a debut like that. So that was cool to see. That's about it for NXT. Next we got Impact. Here we had the debut or return of Suicide. It was, whatever. He won his match, so he got to wrestle a match at Slammiversary. We'll talk about that later. At first I thought it was Sanjay Dutt in the suit, but it turns out to be TJ Perkins, which is actually a good fit for him. I'd like TJ Perkins just in regular X Division, but they want to put him on Suicide, which is fine. But that was cool. Next we got James Storm comes out. Like I said, I'm just picking stuff I want to talk about. James Storm comes out, talks about tag teams, and because I really hate this. Like, he had this whole thing with AJ, and they pretty much, I felt like they didn't even finish the whole feud that they were building towards, and then they just kind of switched him to the whole tag team thing and threw him in there. And at Slammiversary, it's going to be James Storm and a partner versus Rude Aries versus Traveling Hernandez versus Bad Influence. Anyways, so James Storm's partner, he comes out, talks about partners, whatever. Shark Boy comes out, he says he wants to be his partner. Robbie E comes out, says he should be the partner. Gunner comes out, attacks both Sharky and Robbie, and Storm says he's going to be his partner at Slammiversary. Good to see Gunner back. I actually do like Gunner a lot, but I don't think he should be teaming with Storm. Like, I think it's so fucking stupid, because they kind of built towards a little something, like a little tag team between Crimson and Gunner, and then to kind of like break that up and throw Gunner with Storm, I don't know, I hate it. I fucking hate it. I'd rather have Chris Harris come back, they reunite America's Most Wanted, and fucking tear the house down in the tag team division. That would be fucking amazing. But whatever. Next we got Mickie James vs. Velvet Sky Knockouts title match. Pretty good match. Mickie wins and is the new Knockouts champion. That was cool, I guess. I don't know. Not really. I don't know. The Velvet, she had a like really big comeback, and then they just dropped the ball on her. They just didn't do anything with her after she won. So it was like very uneventful title reign, in my opinion. So, you know, hopefully Mickie can do something with it. Next, or last but not least on this Impact, this is where AJ was supposed to join the Aces and Eights. So he comes out and he chugs a beer, all this stuff. Kurt Angle comes out, tells him if he really wants to do it. Doc attacks Angle, AJ attacks Angle, and then the Aces and Eights are like, oh, okay, you know, he's with us. And then he attacks the Aces and Eights. He hit Doc with such a solid shot, and Doc sold it like he got fucking killed. Because they gave him the hammer, and he hit Angle with the hammer, blah, blah, blah. I think that's just a terrible fucking thing to, like, a weapon to use. Like, change it to a steel pipe and chain anything. A fucking hammer? You hit a person with a hammer, you're gonna fuck them up, like, honestly. And it's just so not believable. And anyway, so he hits Doc with this solid shot, and it looked really fucking good. Like, he just clobbered Doc, but that was cool. Anyway, so he attacks Aces and Eights and then leaves the ring. Next we got Smackdown. What else? What do I want to talk about on Smackdown? Jack Swagger, Daniel Bryan, they had a pretty good match. Bryan wins. After the match, Bryan kind of acts heelish, you know, kind of teasing the breakup of Team Hell No, which sucks, but, you know, I think it's time. I think it's time for them to go their separate ways. There's rumors that they really want to push Daniel Bryan. They're excited about the crowd reaction he's getting, and they really want to capitalize on it. So that would be cool. Like, I don't know what they're obviously going to turn him heel, and there's like rumors that he's going to feud with John Cena, which would be pretty crazy. And yeah, we'll have to see where that leads. So yeah, so sad, but Team Hell No might be ending. What else? I think that's about it. The main event was Orton and Sheamus and Kofi taking on the Shield. They had a good match. The Shield wins. What else? Next we got Ring of Honor. Just a pretty good show. The main event was Kevin Steen versus Adam Cole. They had a solid match. Adam Cole ended up taking the victory. Next we got Raw again. This is the Raw from May 27th, so you're following the whole timeline. On this Raw, what do we want to talk about here? Oh, so John Cena announced that he's going to be taking on Ryback into 3 stages of Hell match. They're going to have a lumberjack match, a table match, and ambulance match. And that's cool. I like the 3 stages of Hell match. They haven't done too many of them, and I like that. Save like make the match seem special. So I don't know if this feud deserves it, but it'll be cool to watch. What else we got? Oh, Jericho comes out for the highlight reel. His guest was Paul Heyman. They talk about CM Punk. Heyman says he's going to announce something soon. Jericho wants answers now. He says that since Punk's not here anymore, he guess he's the best in the world. And Punk era Heyman was freaking out, blah, blah, blah. So Jericho's like, all right, Payback's in Chicago. CM Punk lives in Chicago. So I'm going to challenge him to a match, and let's see if he shows up. So at Payback, it's going to be Jericho versus CM Punk. It should be interesting to see where they go from here. Like, I really have no idea. So we'll have to wait and see. Will they take a page out of my universe? Maybe team them up? Best in the world as a team? Oh my god, that'd be amazing. You can have that idea, WWE. Take it. It's awesome. That's why I came up with it. That'd be fucking amazing. But we'll just have to wait and see. They showed a vintage, like a promo for the Wyatt family. They're going to be debuting soon. This is a really well put together promo. You know, it made Bray Wyatt just seem creepy as shit. And, you know, he had his goons, Eric Rowan and Luke Harper. And I can't wait for them to debut. I can't wait to see what they have in, like, what WWE is going to do with them. They're definitely going to be doing some stuff in the tag team division, you know, since they got Harper and Rowan. But I'm wondering how they're going to use Bray Wyatt. Should be good. I can't wait. And the main event was Curtis Axel versus John Cena. Good match. Axel wins by countouts. That was that. Next we got NXT. This was where the 18-man Battle Royale happens to determine a #1 contender for the NXT title. But before that, Stephanie McMahon appeared and announced the NXT Women's Championship. I'm kind of surprised. I don't know if she, like, fucked up when she was announcing it, but they announced it as the NXT Women's Championship and not the Divas Championship. So I'll have to, like, double check my research on that one, but I don't know if it's going to be called the NXT Divas or Women's. It'd be interesting if they keep it Women's. No, they're probably going to do Divas, like the NXT Divas Championship, because, you know, the whole reality show, Totally Divas or whatever. So it's probably going to be NXT Divas. Yeah, there's nothing else to talk about except the 18-man Battle Royale. It was a pretty good match. Bo Dallas wins. The only thing I didn't like is you had Mason Ryan eliminate 80% of the people, maybe even more, maybe 85%. He just fucking chucked them out 1 by 2, 3 and 4 and 5. He eliminated like 11 people in an 18-man Battle Royale. He eliminated 11 people. And they got eliminated. Like, they didn't even, I don't know, I thought it was terrible. That was just my opinion, though. What else? Next we got Impact. They announced that they're going to induct someone into the TNA Hall of Fame. Dixie came out, Hall of Fame thing, and then, Samoa Joe announced that at Slammiversary it's going to be Joe, Magnus, and Jeff Hardy, who's returning to take on the Aces and Eights, which, you know, I'm not a big Hardy fan, but it's cool to see him back. What else do we got? Nothing much, really, nothing really, like, big to talk about. The main event was AJ versus Mr. Anderson. Good match. AJ wins by DQ after Angle attacks him, and then the show ends with a huge brawl. Guys from Aces and Eights, Angle, Sting, well, everybody. Next we got Smackdown. They have this thing with Damian Sandow, like, coming in the ring and doing, you know, they had the Gordian knot, and here they had, like, the trick where there's the cups and the balls, and you gotta find the ball under the cups. And they're building towards this feud with, like, him and Sheamus, and I think it's just so forced, and just so, like, I don't know, it just seems so shitty. And then I think they're gonna have a match at Payback, but I haven't been enjoying the feud. I like Damian Sandow a lot. I don't know, this feud came out of nowhere. Like, he hasn't been winning matches, he's been losing everything, so it's like, for him to actually have a meaningful feud, it just doesn't mean shit, because he loses all the time. What else do we got? Biggie Langston, he had a series of matches with Del Rio. He had it on SmackDown, Raw, SmackDown again. And they had some pretty good back and forth matches. I really enjoyed the matches with them actually and that was cool. And the main event was Randy Orton versus Dean Ambrose. Pretty good match. Orton wins by DQ after the Shield attacks him. Hell No makes the save. Next you got Ring of Honor. It starts out with Colin Delaney versus Mark Briscoe. And when I saw the name Colin Delaney, I'm like, that guy from ECW? Like the WWE version? And it was. And I'm like, holy shit, he's put on some muscle. You know, he doesn't look like a little scrawny kid anymore. He looks like looks pretty good. Like, he's in shape. He's got, I think he got a beard or some shit. And I'm like, holy shit, he looks nothing like I remember. So that was just cool to see him on Ring of Honor. Yet took on Mark Briscoe. Pretty good match. What else do we got? And the main event, solid main event on this episode of Ring of Honor, which was Roderick Strong versus Taiji Ishimura. I don't know how to pronounce his first name. But they had a really good match, really good back and forth match, and I just love watching. I've said this before, but I really love Ring of Honor for that. Just bringing in the international talent, guys from. Well, they haven't brought as many guys from Mexico. They did bring Alex Kozlov and shit, I don't remember his name, but those two as a tag team. Then they brought in some guys from Japan. I just really like seeing them wrestle against the American talents, and they had a really good match. Ishimura won, and I definitely go find this match and check it out. And if you want to know how to watch Ring of Honor, what you want to do is you want to go to ROHWrestling.com, sign up for a free account, and you can watch Ring of Honor every Thursday on their website is when they post the newest episode. Next we're going to talk about Slammiversary just a little bit. I'm going to just talk about the card. I'm not going to get way into it with all my predictions. Just because it's happened like such a while ago. Overall, the card, there's a couple matches that seem good. There's just like the main event I don't care about. Like, I don't care for Sting anymore. I don't really want to see him on TV. Kurt Angle versus AJ Styles. You know, they're probably gonna have a really good match. But I don't know where this whole AJ thing's going. So I don't know. The 4-way tag team match, that should be really good. It should probably be the match. I don't know, that or AJ and Styles would probably be match of the night. We'll have to wait and see. I see Storm and Gunner winning, like, honestly. I haven't even watched it yet. But I can just tell Storm and Gunner are going to win. Even though they should put on Bad Influence. Bad Influence is the best team you have. Even better than Storm or Rude and Aries. And Rude and Aries are really good. But Bad Influence are just that much better. Like, if you want to build your fucking tag team division, like, have a decent tag team division, you put the belts on Bad Influence. Kazarian and Daniels, one of my favorite things to watch on Impact every time I watch. I can't wait to see what they're going to do or say or all that stuff. They're the best. Put it on them. Holy shit. They're so good. Well, so return of Jeff Hardy. The Triple Threat Ultimate X match, Kenny King, Suicide, Chris Sabin. That should be really fun to watch. I'm going to predict Chris Sabin. They've been pushing the shit out of Chris Sabin ever since he came back. And I'm glad to have him back in the X Division. Hopefully he can stay healthy and injury-free and he can have a nice long reign. And I'm going to go with him to win it. Terrence Terrell versus Gail Kim. I've heard rave reviews about this match. Like, this is one of the best women's matches I've ever seen. Like, a lot of people have told me that. And you wouldn't think that. Like, Terrence Terrell, when I think of her, I don't think of, like, good matches. You know, I think of, oh, she fucked up a lot of stuff in the match. But I can't wait to see this match because, you know, a lot of people have talked about it. And it's supposed to be really good. I don't know. And they have Jay Bradley versus Sam Shaw, which I don't know why is on the pay-per-view because there's... I don't even know why they're wrestling on... I think it's for the Bound for Glory series. I don't know. I just don't think this shit belongs on a pay-per-view, especially your biggest pay-per-view of them all. Just put it on Impact, give it like 7 minutes, the end. I don't think it deserves to be on a pay-per-view. But other than that, Slammiversary just looks like a... It's got some good matches, some potential to be good, but I don't know. I'm gonna go in with low expectations, so if something is good, I could be like, oh, that's cool. You know, I didn't have any expectations for it, and it turned out to be good. What else? So yeah, I'm gonna have reviews for Slammiversary on the next weekly wrestling review. Hopefully that'll be soon. I don't know when. And let's just talk about some wrestling news real quick. So first, let's talk about WWE 2K14 a little bit. They announced a release date, which is going to be, I think it's going to be released in the U.S. October 29th, and it's going to be released internationally November 1st. And it's going to be coming to the Xbox and PS4, but it's also going to be coming for the PS4 and the Xbox One, which should be interesting. I think I'm going to wait. That begs the question, like, when is the Xbox One and PS4 going to be released? Because I think they're going to be released in November, but the game comes out in October, so I don't know how that's going to work. We'll have to wait and see. But that's cool that they're going to next gen. I could just see a lot of problems with it, though. Like, honestly, I want it to be good, but I have my doubts. Next, WWE has announced the official signings of some top independent wrestlers. First being Samurai Del Sol. He's been pretty asked about, like, in my universe, like, oh, can you bring this guy in? I don't know anything about him, but now that he's signed to WWE, I might have to take a look at him and see what he's all about. And another person that was signed by WWE is Sami Callihan. He's been rumored for a while, and he finally got his medical stuff cleared, I guess. And should be interesting to see him in NXT. Can't wait for that. Next, I thought this was a little funny thing. WWE is partnering with Warner Brothers for the new Flintstones movie. A couple weeks, or I don't know when, but they announced that they're going to make a new Scooby-Doo thing, and they're going to be doing the Leprechaun movie, and I don't know. Like, the Marine 3, it looks kind of good. Like, I kind of want to see it. The Call looks really good with Halle Berry. A buddy of mine watched that. He said it was a pretty good movie, but he thinks everything's really good, so I can't really take his opinion too highly, but you know, I don't think this is gonna be good, to be honest. And yeah, so we'll have to wait and see for the WWE Flintstones movies. And last but not least, Dixie Carter has teased the signing of a big free agent. This I already know about because it made some big news everywhere I looked. They signed Rampage Jackson, the MMA fighter, and I'm just gonna say that it's good and bad. And I'll explain more on the next weekly wrestling review when I actually see it. Just hearing about it, my thoughts are, wow, that's not a really big signing, who gives a shit? But also, I think it is a big signing. Like, if anyone was a good fit from MMA into pro wrestling, Rampage Jackson would be my #1 pick. Like, you know, he's done some good, interesting promos, like interviews that kind of seem like promos. So he kind of has that aspect of it. But I don't know how he's going to be in the ring. You know, I think he's a trained wrestler and he knows a bunch of stuff. So, I don't know. And then they paired him with Kurt Angle. I don't want to jump to conclusions, but I'm going to watch it and I'm going to give my full thought-out opinion on the next weekly wrestling review. So, good to be back. Finally back watching some wrestling. So I hope you guys enjoyed. Catch me next time where I got reviews for Slammiversary. I don't know if I'm going to be doing 2 weeks or one. It might be 2 weeks, so I might have predictions for Payback. We're going to talk about Rampage Jackson getting signed, what my thoughts on that, and anything else that big occurred within those weeks. So I want to thank you guys for watching. Hope you guys enjoyed, and catch me next time. Peace out, guys.